All right, Elhadji Nadur, you're fighting January 24th at the Karate Combat event in Hollywood, California. January that's a Thursday night of the coming week. So, are you in California already?
No, I'm still in New York, leaving on Sunday night.
Speaking of New York, I saw you. I saw your last fight when you fought at the in the One World Trade Center. You had mentioned when you won the fight that you would like to fight for a title, and that's something that Karate Combat is definitely going to make a possibility this year. Did you already know back then, or is it something you're excited about now?
Yeah, no, I didn't know about it until they called me. We're going to give me another fight. Yeah.
So the matchmaking for Karate Combat. Obviously, I know you're not fighting for a belt on Thursday, but when you do fight this season, obviously, if you pick up enough wins, do you know how it works when they make the challenger matches?
Yeah, they say for the race belt, like for the full belt, but I actually don't know how it's going yet. All I know is that who I'm gonna fight and why am I gonna fight. So that's the most important thing. So me focusing to each of my fight to one day.
Yeah, the fight you have coming up, Caleb Robb, right?
Yes.
So what do you know about him? It seems like a lot of guys come from Shotokan karate, like yourself. But I know you're already a world champion in competing specifically in Shotokan. So do you know anything about your opponent that poses a threat to you?
Well, I have watched him fight on WKF, and he's a champion in WKF, the World Karate Federation. But all I have to do is this is something a little bit different compared to WKF with Shotokan. So yeah, I know he's a champion in WKF, but with this full contact karate, I think I'm better than him.
And speaking of the different rule set, was it something difficult to train for when you started fighting Karate Combat? I know they had finalized the rules like after the Inception event, I think, not before the Miami one. How have you had to adjust your training to prepare for fighting in Karate Combat?
Yeah, each of my fight I try to do better. I try to adapt to myself on the rules because I had to fight in the very, very, very first event in Budapest. And the rule was a little bit difficult because I was new in it, we all were new in it, but each of my fight I tried to adjust myself on the rule and fight better than I fought last time. So the pit is different compared to the ring we used to compete in the Shotokan World Championship or the WKF World Championship. The pit is unique. And I'm adapting myself to get used to the fight of the pit.
So the adjustment as far as because when people think of karate and competitive karate, they think about point fighting or what they see in the movies. Obviously, what Karate Combat is doing, takedowns are allowed. There's no submissions allowed. But do you find yourself having to train to avoid takedowns more, or is it more difficult than I know it was foot sweeps and stuff like that are in karate, but obviously with the 5-second rule on the ground, it can be a little rougher.
Yeah, because if Karate Combat make the rule like MMA is going to be just MMA, is not going to be Karate Combat anymore. You know what I'm saying? They have to do something better, keep it like a just technique, like a just karate technique, not like ground fighting. And the ground, if you can finish your opponent in 5 seconds, better. But if we had the karate like a ground fighter, it's going to be like the UFC or MMA. So I think that's the reason why they just keep it on the simple karate, but in full contact, because you see a really good technique and with the kicks, the punches, and sweep and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely hit a lot harder than people expect. I mean, the knockouts that have happened in the 2018 season were obviously spectacular. there were highlight reels to follow every day after the event. It was a highlight reel. So speaking of the impact that you guys take, I know your last fight in New York, you won, but so I'm assuming you said you just got done with your medicals. Were you injury free? I mean, I know you did interviews and stuff after, so you looked all right. I was at the event, so I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you, but are you relatively healthy? Did you come out unscathed?
Yeah, I'm healthy. I stay in shape all the time. Half fight and half fight, I stay in shape because the karate is a lifestyle, you know, and stay in shape is not like you have fight, you have to stay in shape. Life in general, you need to stay in shape, and anytime fight happen, because like when I grew up as a fighter. I've been fighting in the street without preparing that fight, you know. But I always keep myself to stay in shape and ready to fight at any time. You can wake me up, and I gonna just get up and fight, give my best.
So on an average training day, when you're not competing, like what's your training schedule like? Is it twice a day? Do you do like morning and night, or a few times a week?
Yeah, I teach a lot, and teaching I learn a lot. Sometimes during my classes I jump on a class and and train with my. I have a lot of black belts in my dojo, and I train with them. Even giving a class, I jump in it and do the class, and I do some personal training too myself.
So
with some help of my friends.
So you're teaching and training in New York?
Say that again?
You teach and train in New York City?
Yeah, I teach in Long Island. I have my own karate school called EGN International Karate Do, which is I created in 2015. With my fiance, and we have make a lot of U.S. national champions, you know, and we have three athletes that day on the Team USA. So.
Oh, that's great. That's good. That's good to hear, because you had mentioned UFC and MMA and the rules and stuff like that. With the popularity of that sport, sometimes it seems, and I know I've come across it because I train Ishinryu karate for 11 years myself. So every time I mention it, I do jiu-jitsu now. But when I mention it, there's always a sneer or something from a lot of the younger people, that because obviously all they see a lot of MMA on regular TV and stuff like that. So. But then Karate Combat came out, and people act like it's something brand new when it's something that's been around for hundreds of years. So how do you handle it when you're say like a new student walks into your school, and you mentioned Karate Combat and your discipline? Do you see a lot of that in when you're teaching or talking to new students?
Yeah, every decade is like a sport that everybody pay attention to it. And a couple of years, everybody talk about MMA, UFC, and Jiu-Jitsu. But now with Karate Combat, with this new league, it brings back in the days, because, like, let's say 20 years ago, when you hear karate was like a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
Karate used to be very popular, and then after the UFC take over with MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, and all the stuff. But with the Karate Combat, he give another image to karate, And most people, they interesting to karate, look up to karate, and with all this full contact karate, it's a little bit interesting to compare to karate before,
Yeah.
Because even Shotokan or WKF World Championship, is a semi-contact karate, and it's not interesting to get penalized because you hit too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And still I'm training. I'm doing the Olympic qualification, and 1 week if I compete in the Olympic qualification, sometimes I get penalties because I hit too hard. Then next week I have to fight in Karate Combat, and I even can hit hard because I always think about get penalty.
Yeah.
And Karate Combat is not about get penalty. You knock people out, you get bonus. So
Yeah, and then the thing of it is, I mean, I know you know about it, being in the New York area. you know, they had a lot of, before the ban on mixed martial arts was lifted, if martial artists wanted to fight in true martial arts competition outside of the kickboxing rules and stuff, they had to go to these underground things, you know, where rules were varied and things like that. So do you think, like, in your opinion, obviously, from someone like myself that knows about Okinawan karate and seeing the sparring and the way you guys fight, do you think karate combat is the best representation of karate in the modern era?
Is a representative because karate was meant for self-defense. It's a martial art, but it's a self-defense, you know?
Yeah.
And self-defense, if you see in Okinawa, when people, when we train like the makiwaras, they hit really hard on the makiwaras, you know?
Yeah.
But after when you go to the competition, they not allow you to punch uki hard, you know?
Yeah, and I mean...
They make it like a sport, but the karate combat, they allow you to hit hard. So that makes it a little bit real than just a sport karate.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you're allowed to do more trips and throws, which a lot of times, like when in my younger days, when I did the point fighting competition, if I threw somebody, I was penalized, like you said. It was considered too rough. So, I mean, I think that the rule set in karate combat allows for probably the truest form of competitive karate outside of what it was initially created for.
Definitely. Because I see myself in karate combat than any other competition I had competed before. Because I even got penalized at the World Championship at the semifinal after winning 4 matches in semifinal against England. I was representing US, and that was in Poland at the World Championship. I punched him in the face. He knocked out, and I got disqualified. And I was a semifinal at the World Championship. After I beat Czech Republic, beat Spain, beat Germany, and beat Sweden. Then I lost in semifinal against England because I knocked him out. You know, It was not by purpose; it was by accident.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And then after, when you tell people I got disqualified because I hit this guy too hard who I knocked him out, and the sport fighting, they're going to be like, what kind of sport fighting is that?
Yeah. No, that's definitely. So at least now in karate combat, you don't have to worry about that. Because if you...
No, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about that.
So that's great. So I guess when you said you're always in shape, so I'm sure making weight and all that is not an issue. But will you know after, depending on the outcome on Thursday, will you know when you're going to be able to be in a challenge match for the golden title?
Well, we will see what's going to happen on Thursday. I'm going for the win, but they really, they haven't explained to me how the golden is going to go. But I'm really focusing to this fight to win this fight because each of my match, I'm going to win it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've been doing well so far. So, do you one last question before I let you go? So I notice when I look at the roster for karate combat, there's a lot of competitors that come from Shotokan. Has that been something that you see as a plus for you, or are you looking for varied disciplines of karate when you're looking at future opponents?
Say that again. I didn't hear the question.
If most of the roster in karate combat seems to be Shotokan competitors, do you think that benefits you more?
Well, it benefits me a little bit, but at the same time, like I said, it's kind of different. I need to adjust myself to fight each of my opponent because it's not all my opponent has to be in Shotokan. Some of them are Shitoryu, some of them are Kutoryu, you know. But at the same time, my base of Shotokan helped me a lot for fight any different kind of fighter, you know.
All right. Fair enough. So thank you so much for your time. I know you have to get ready for your travel. Good luck on Thursday. I look forward to seeing you fight Karate Combat Hollywood on January 24th. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.